So, Mr. Hooks and Nurse Hawkins are an item. Those two have hidden their affections well.
A giant morgue disguised as a hospital. That's Pembroke nowadays.
Daily routine.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
What can you tell me about the strange man visiting one of the nurses during her shift?
Let me guess. You spoke with that old shrew, Harriet Jones. Do not pay attention to her, Doctor. She's full of fanciful tales.
No matter how you feel about her, Miss Jones deserves our help.
Who says I don't care for her? Hate is what keeps that old crone alive.
She could have been telling the truth about the mysterious man.
That old witch will end up in hell soon enough. Who cares if a nurse finds some happiness where she can?
What can you
Let me get...
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Fear and disgust on every street corner. Daily routine.
Simpletons, these nurses. Bred with no respect.
Damn. The pain. It's here again.
I wonder what your last thoughts would be, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I have some good news, Milton.
What? The epidemic's over?
I retrieved your wallet with all the money and a certain picture.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what? Is it the difference of skin colour that bothers you?
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this money anyway. To remind you to keep your mouth shut. Not everybody is as broad-minded as you, Dr. Reed.
What's going on between you and Nurse Hawkins?
Pippa's tired. Tired of all this shit. Tired of all those...
During the war, I witnessed a few couples just like you come together in difficult circumstances. It can be very damaging.
Maybe you're right.
You do realize you could both get fucked.
Come on, Dr. Reed. Do you know how many rules are broken in this hospital every day?
I'd like to...
Wise choice, Dr. Reed.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Pepper, I know you're very close to Milton Hooks.
Yes? Milton Hooks.
I have no intention of
The rules say I won't be allowed to work as a nurse.
Is he worth the...
Hey, I'm no perfect woman, and Milton is not the finest bloke. But we do our best to get by. That's all any of us can hope for nowadays.
Goodbye, nurse.
You are going to reveal all your secrets to me, even the darkest thoughts in your heart.
My blood and soul, they belong to you now.
The life running in your veins.
Another night.
Good evening.
Doctor...
Have you heard?
I have no time.
Goodbye, Doc.
Just die like this.
Please, sir.
What's going on?
I'm Blight, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Oswald and myself were both infantry, sir. We were en route for the hospital, but... well, we had a disagreement. And Oswald ran off towards the...
How long have you...
I can't go there. Too many rats by the water. Fucking rats. Can't stand them since the war, sir. Can't stand...
Don't be ashamed, Mr. Blight. Many soldiers who survived the trenches suffer from musophobia. I'll see what I can do for your friend. I have all the information I need.
Thank you.
Don't worry, we're safe.
You're sure you don't come back with me?
Nah, I have to see someone at the hospital.
Be careful. You look so bad they may keep you as a patient.
Fuck 'em. I don't like hospitals. Or doctors.
Well then, when you go back to Whitechapel, you may find this useful.
What is it?
A pass for a free medical exam by the best nurse available. Just read it.
I don't read well, but thank you, I guess.
He's locked the door behind him. I need to find another way to follow him. This man has been savagely attacked and dragged to the floor. What sort of creature is this? What sort of creature is this? What sort of creature is this? Here's what's left of him. Not a lot. Some voucher for a free checkup in Whitechapel. What is Nurse Crane up to? I really must find her. Are you injured, sir?
Help me get out of here!
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd be glad...
Okay. Okay.
Mr. Thatcher, your friend Newton sent me...
Yes.
Good. Now leave this place.
Are you deaf? Go back home, idiot!
Good evening.
Doctor.
Goodbye, Good evening.
Good evening.
Goodbye, nurse.
Hello again, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye, Mr. Ham. Good evening.
Good evening.
Goodbye.
Pembroke is so lucky to have Dr. Reed.
If only there were more of them.
Put an end to you!
Every night. Aye, but the guards recruit more and more every year.
When did you join the guard?
days ago. This is my first patrol.
Die, vermin! Burn, vermin! It's an inch! Get it! Christ! He's dead! Die, vermin! Shit, that leech is fast! I'll send you back in a...
Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow.
Fuck you all! Fuck it all! Stop it now, Albert! Stop it!
Me? I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old lavvy.
Drugs from the sick and suffering.
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets. Not me.
What?
Shooting a boy in the middle of the street.
What?
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd...
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm bed...
What can you tell me?
Nothing to say, really. This...
You don't have anywhere to go?
Not since the death of my wife, Albert's mother. She was sick, you see. Long before the flu and all this.
You mean you...
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name. And now I'm just Ben. Ben the truth.
Perhaps you...
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy?
It's funny, I've been searching for her too.
Really?
Word is she ain't real. She's a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure...
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that... I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy just frayed me last nerve.
A gun, alcohol, and a...
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets. Not me.
Good evening, Benjamin.
I'm afraid...
A gun? Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested?
Actually...
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is...
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it?
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's...
Tell me.
The region itself is something to see, but I would say...
What do you think?
Most of them are afraid.
Is there anyone...
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the...
I don't like to talk.
Competition?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort...
I'd like to see what...
All the good boys join the army and the scum turn criminal. It's a shame, really.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir.
There is no Dorothy.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite.
Really? Well, I'm...
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be from Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nithercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Can't you just look the other way this week, Joe? Come on, we can sort it out. Welcome, sir.
I am Dr. Reed.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night...
How is business?
Business? I had no business. Between this racket, theft...
I see. Sounds like you blame someone...
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with...
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day.
Well, you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no...
Violence is in...
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever. Madness.
Where did this happen?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Have you heard of a
Nurse Crane? So the bitch...
Yes. Those bloody immigrants should know that.
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England...
That doesn't explain.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted...
Right then. Excuse me, sir.
Another journalist?
I'm not a journalist.
A doctor, you sir.
Really? But still...
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your serving.
Have you heard of a nurse?
Dorothy Crane.
Could you please tell me...
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants.
May I ask what...
I'll do whatever I want.
According to you...
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you?
This part of town does have quite a reputation.
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent...
How did you become the local bully?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job.
A job? So you...
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle.
You survive at any cost, even...
I don't care what you think, sir.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Goodbye.
Fancy bar.
You never... Joe Peterson.
I'd known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice. He was a friend then. But these days, he's just another thug.
What can you tell me about Mr. Peterson?
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer. Good one, even. But after his wife passed away, he found every excuse to stop trouble.
Taking out your anger on others isn't...
We've all had some rough times, ain't we?
And no one has ever...
Nobody would be fool enough to stand...
Goodbye for now. Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son.
I am Dr. John...
A scientist.
What do you mean when...
All scientists are entangled.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know?
Well, you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the...
I am. But the answers I seek are... What do you... quite...
Well, you...
Well, I suppose...
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself.
Really?
We must fight the disease before this legion...
What is left?
Cleansing.
Tell me, Tobias. What?
God will recognize his own.
Purification by fire has proved useful.
Your lack of faith is predictable. But
You're mad. and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free...
Joseph, a fool.
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he can...
Have you any friends?
No. But I have a disciple I see as...
Where did you...
I sent Samuel to...
You sent him on some...
As a true believer.
Do you know nurse...
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses.
So you're not exactly a fan of Florence?
Nuns should be the only women allowed to...
Why do you hate...
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance.
I have heard enough.
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town?
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps...
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent?
There's a war going on. People...
I served in France. Our top priority must be to put an end to this.
Sir, streets are a battlefield too. An invisible and untold...
Have you any idea of...
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever.
I'm convinced there is more.
Really?
What is a journalist doing in the...
He goes where none of his colleagues...
So you risk your life to...
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many...
That's quite honorable.
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an
I heard you're investigating an underground...
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strength.
I'm a doctor, Mr. Darby. I care about everything.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain Nurse Crane from the Pembroke Hospital would bring?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr.
I don't know much about the man. He's very
He never goes...
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
He has no...
No. Except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would...
Where can I find...
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
Goodbye, Mr. Good evening, sir.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best.
Really?
I'm a poet, sir. Rich.
May I ask what you're doing?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially...
But are you not afraid?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal.
If you say so. But as a physician...
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know...
What are your...
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the...
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now... Listen to this oddly peaceful...
Peaceful? That's quite...
Most people fail to understand my perspective.
Are you aware that...
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city.
I understand you're...
I don't care. I don't have many friends.
If some
Well, you, for a start.
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott.
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it?
Do you not think it...
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty.
What can you tell me?
Not much. And that's the beauty of it.
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
And have you ever tried to learn more?
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma.
In what way?
The struggle by gaslight.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox. The stripped humanity.
Vivid, of course, yes.
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
May I ask you if...
Extraordinary part of town.
I'm looking for Dorothy...
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no.
What can you tell me about an old man?
Darius Petrescu. Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was...
Not interested in your...
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skill.
I'll leave you... Good evening, miss. I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger. I know you understand what I'm saying. Tell me about Richard Nethercott. Very well. Hello again. Melia, I know you work for Dorothy. A stubborn and mute cop. Very well. The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter. Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
Don't be shy, Han.
I'm not looking for what you're selling.
All right then, but be quick.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane?
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea Krashen.
You seem to...
Dorothea helps this...
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading fast.
I don't like doctors or hospitals.
Considering your line of...
If it is going to happen, it will...
You can put your own life in danger, that...
And you think that would worry me? If you knew the men I deal with.
Clayton Darby claims he will expose the crisis in Whitechapel.
I believe Clayton's courage will erode with time.
Why this skepticism?
How can you speak about starvation if you've never been hungry? Or about poverty? Or any...
Are you talking for...
I've seen your type come here to get a good fuck in a cheap room or a dark alley before going back to their fancy houses in the West End.
Tell me about it.
Are you joking with me?
I have no interest in...
Short story. The war, exile, and England. This country is not especially welcoming. I've been refused many jobs because of where I...
I always thought I was the master of my own fate. But now I know we don't always have control over our lives. I don't...
You know, this money is not only for me. I have...
Goodbye, men.
You again?
Goodbye. Mr. Petrescu, just 1 minute.
You again?
Sir, wait. Stop this nonsense. I know Nurse Crane is here. Shall we speak man to man, you and I? Don't you see we're on the same side?
I'm nothing like you.
Yes, you are. You too believe in providing medical care without charge. You know what we have to sacrifice to make the world a better place.
I have to admit your words have convicted.
It's locked.
If you want to talk to Dorothy...
We've not been formally introduced.
I am Darius Petrescu, I'm here to keep snitches and spies away from Dorothea. And I also run this little print shop.
So Dorothy's real name is...
Like myself and many people in this...
She seems important.
More than you can imagine. The West End does not want to hear of Whitechapel's misery. Dorothea is one of the few doing something about it.
Tell me everything you know.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm almost...
Are you not what?
She is as brave as she is tough.
Are you in love with Camellia, Mr.
Don't be stupid. If I had met her when I...
Who is she, really?
She's not from around here, that's all.
You say she has no...
Well, there's that awful poet who constantly follows her around like a lost puppy. A good man, for sure, but...
Tell me everything. Do you have any family?
Who knows? I have a...
Don't be embarrassed, sir. If you...
It's quite awkward to talk about our...
This war won't last forever.
No. I have taught strength and determination.
How did you meet Nurse Crane, Darren?
I'm her oldest friend in England. Dorothea and I share many ideas about this country and about the country we left.
You mean occupied Romania, don't you? Even if not directly, I...
Really? Then perhaps you have more in common with Dorothea.
I know you fought for your country.
I know my days are numbered, and I know I won't see my homeland again. But I fought for Romania all my life.
But Romania escaped the grasp of...
It is not the country I fought for. My homeland is...
Tell me... Do you need some help?
I am very tired.
Well, if you feel... Goodbye, Miss. What do we have here, nurse?
Patient Razvan Vasily. High fever running on 3 days. Complaints of dizziness, muscle aches, and head pain. Diagnosed with influenza.
Treatment?
Aspirin and salicin for the fever and discomfort. Liquids for dehydration, but he's having trouble keeping even water down.
Thank you, nurse. Anything else I should know?
He did lose consciousness this morning, but he's never had convulsions like these.
He's not convulsing, he's choking. He's not getting any air. Scalpel! Hand me that scalpel!
What can I do, Doctor?
It's too dangerous to operate with these convulsions. Sedative, nurse. Do we have any anesthetics?
I'm sorry, Doctor. None at all.
I need to perform a tracheostomy. Short pipe. That rubber tube will do. We're going to cut a passage for air through the neck.
Yes, Doctor. He's breathing again, but he's coughing up blood.
Internal hemorrhaging. I need to make another incision into the chest cavity to drain the fluids from the lung. Prepare another tube.
A thoracostomy? Doctor, we've nothing to fight the infection. We need an aseptic environment.
Right then, Nurse Crane. What do you suggest we do?
I've no idea. I'm not the doctor.
Time is of the essence. We need to perform a thoracic drain.
Yes, Doctor. He's still bleeding, Doctor. I'm losing his pulse.
The drain must have punctured the intercostal artery. There's too much blood.
Are you all right, Doctor?
I can't see. I must first suture the artery. Find the wound. The source of the blood.
Needle and thread, Doctor.
Good. The stitches are holding. How's he doing?
We're losing him. We've lost his pulse. He's dying, Doctor!
A dose of epinephrine, now.
Yes, Doctor. We've lost the pulse. He's gone, Doctor.
Nurse, we did everything we could.
Truly? Everything you could? Is that how you'll report this in your log? Is this how the war went? Piling up one poor corpse beside the next?
This was not an influenza-induced seizure. I've never seen symptoms like these on the continent.
Neither have I. But the previous symptoms leading up to this attack were the same, indistinguishable from the epidemic.
No. There was something more vile in these reactions. Something primitive.
There have been numerous reports of mental breakdowns caused by the fever that accompanies the flu itself, Doctor.
Yes, but I'd best take some samples of the blood for analysis.
You're here to test my bedside manners.
It's locked, all right.
I suspect it was more than intuition alone that led you to us. So, how might I be of service, Dr. Reed?
I've come to put an end to this insufferable blackmailing, Dorothy.
Doctor, you think your warnings scare me? I've stolen and plied, blackmailed and lied, but what else am I to do? I'm all these people have.
But why?
She's pristine and proper, all right. But that she-wolf in sheep's clothing murders the poor for sport. I have her where she belongs, and I'll milk her for all she's got.
Dr. Swansea is a sensible and honest man.
It's easy for you to say, Doctor. These people cannot go to the police, nor to the hospital. They don't even speak English. They depend on me for everything.
So, the end...
I know you're kind, Doctor. Just another fine-heeled, silver-spooned gentleman who was given the world on a platter. You know nothing of poverty, nothing of the shame, the hunger.
You've convinced me of the sincerity of your actions and their noble justifications. But all the same, blackmail is a crime, and it will stop, Nurse Crane.
So, are you going to turn me over to the authorities?
Listen very carefully, Dorothy. You will erase from your memory everything you pretend to know about Lady Ashbury and Pembroke Hospital.
Let that rich bitch off the hook over my dead
Nurse
body.
Crane, enough. Listen as if your life depended on every word. I know you've a generous heart who gives freely to those in need, but you shall walk away from the shadier streets of your business.
I will never abandon...
Dorothy, the discussion has come to a close. Your clandestine activities in the Resistance are over. Let it go.
I'll let it go. Yes. All gone.
Stinks already. Elite! Oh Christ! Snap it, Leech! It's one of them! Find his teeth! Don't take its head! No! What is it? This one! He's dead!
When science fails you, this elixir will give you faith again.
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets. Not me.
I cannot enter. Human blood. Whoever left these marks did so deliberately.
Kill him, boy! Burn it, boys! how it likes a bit of...
Blaming me will not further your agenda, sir. How long is it going to take to fix me, Brock? A month? A year? You have the right to disapprove of our methods, and you will kindly
You always knew the worst to calm the children. As for me...
We may lack the resources, but we have brilliant minds in London.
Damn. The pain.
Good evening, Miss Hunt.
I need blood, Doctor.
I have made inquiries about the...
I did not expect a mortal to have this.
It was a misunderstanding.
I knew it. I have become undone.
If you'll accept some advice from a petty mortal...
You are right. And you have served me well, mortal. Take this as a reward for your time. Perhaps I will allow you to drink deep of my blood.
Thank you. I'll leave you.
The pain. It's here again.
Good evening.
Evening.
Goodbye for...
Ghost on every street corner. Daily routine.
I wish I could be...
Good evening, Miss Howcroft.
I need blood.
I'll leave.
Time has lost its effect on me, but the suffering continues.
Damn. The pain. It's here again.
Good evening.
I need blood.
Fear and disgust on every street corner. Daily
Why kill me, brother? We could have ruled this land together and forever.
Good evening.
Evening.
Goodbye.
Discussed on every street corner. Daily routine.
It's locked.
The Pembroke is so lucky to have
I would ask you to avert your eyes, sir. Or did you not know it was rude to stare?
I knew it.
Speak up, Dr. Reed. I like a man who speaks his mind.
You killed him. He trusted you. And you killed him.
Spare me your sarcasm, Jonathan. You are but newly born in this world.
We are vampires. We live by leeching the blood from weaker prey. We are Darwin's next chapter. His cynical and perhaps ultimate expression.
The situation is somewhat awkward nonetheless. I have not been observed sustaining myself for many decades. I have to say I'm a trifle embarrassed.
Anyway, I have concluded my inquiries concerning your blackmailer.
I see. Please excuse my agitated state. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't let anyone see me in this condition.
The case is closed, your ladyship. The person who took advantage of you has, shall we say, seen the error of her ways.
So who was it?
My lady, the blackmailer was dealt with using the utmost discretion. The culprit's identity is of no relevance.
Thank you, Jonathan. That is exactly what I needed from you. You have proven your loyalty, so, as a friend, please accept this small token of my appreciation.
Thank you, my lady.
If you have an inclination to learn more about vampires or your current situation, I will be glad to aid you in your quest for knowledge.
Why does Dr. Swansea allow—
Dr. Swansea is a good and compassionate man. He is trying to find a solution for our hunger. Until that happens, he is clever enough to understand that I only feed—
What do you know about this brother?
The Brotherhood is well known amongst London Vampire Society. As long as our kind is discreet, and as long as they do not interfere, we have come.
And no—
As you well know, suspicion has recently fallen on me of killing for pleasure. But you have my word, Jonathan. I take no pleasure in taking a life.
I know this is beyond the—
Really? And I thought you were gentlemen. If you must know, I'm 27. I've been 27 for a long time now. And 27
Very well. But
A lady has to—
And who bestowed...
My maker. He...
Why did you save me in the camp?
I could hardly stand by and watch such a promising young blood as yourself be torn to...
William Bishop wasn't the vampire that created me then?
No, Jonathan. Whatever their strength and demeanor, Skulls are the progeny of careless vampires. It cannot be the other way round.
What type of vampire?
Not a true vampire. The deformed offspring of lesser vampires. It is a shame these creatures run wild, slaves to their baser instincts.
I've been away from London and England for 3 years.
Things have gone from bad to worse here, Jonathan.
The Spanish flu has hit London.
Yes, but it's not just that. I've heard things. Things I've not heard for a very, very long time. There are whispers in the shadows. Something far worse than...
What is it, you...
Fear has long since flown this form. But there is something malevolent circling us. I feel fear is merely waiting in the wings.
Are there many?
Immortals are of a rare breed, and we often tend to hide. But you may have...
Do you know any of them?
You mean your maker? No, Jonathan, I have no clue. But I fear he or she is as careless as cruel. To let you discover your new condition by yourself.
What do you mean?
Every now and then, you may discover an immortal in the deep of the night. But we are a rare and reclusive breed. Our progeny is almost never accidental.
Will they all be as...
I do not see why not. But remember, even the sharks smile.
That sounds like a lesson.
Vampire politics are as intricate and sometimes tedious as a game of chess in a gentleman's club. I've learned from experience it is best to decline to play.
When I awoke, changed.
Though I can't be certain. More than light.
Once glory.
They have seen better days, but all fanatics are dangerous. You would be wise to stay clear. They are sworn to destroy our kind.
You make them sound like...
More a society. And like all the best ones, a secret society. I thought them almost gone. But it seemed they have been...
I've been hearing a voice talking in my head. Is this some kind of insanity? It feels like the voice of the vampire that created me.
Hush. Tell no one this. It would be unwise to talk of such things amongst British immortals. Speak no more of your maker.
How could this call?
Only the powerful immortals can mentally call to their progeny. No vampire or hunter will sleep easy, knowing that an unidentified elder is stalking the streets of London.
Excuse my forward.
Me? Goodness, no.
A vampire?
Such a crude word, defined by penny dreadfuls and drunken hacks. No. You are now an Ekon, and that you...
Are you?
Yes, I am. We are the closest thing to what man refers...
So we are Ekons?
How to put it? All Ekon are vampires.
I don't understand.
That is a question only the one who made you can answer. It's not normal practice. I doubt even if you find him, he will answer you, considering how cruel...
So me being a vampire could have been a mistake?
I very much doubt it, Jonathan. Contrary to the legends, it is not as simple to make another vampire by just biting someone.
I'd like to avoid creating another vampire.
The process is dangerous. It could even kill your potential progeny. If you did decide to sire an offspring, they must drink of your blood, Jonathan.
I bid you fair. I must quickly analyze the blood I took from Nurse Crane's patient. Good evening.
Good evening.
I'd like to...
Wise choice, Doc.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Goodbye. Razvan Vasily was infected by Spanish flu, but also has the highly unstable blood of the Skulls. Is the London vampire epidemic transmitted through the flu? I should talk to Dr. Swansea about it. Evening, Edgar.
Please speak.
This strain of flu.
Really?
I've just looked at the blood of...
I see.
This disease spreads and looks like the Spanish flu, but its effects differ greatly.
This is very interesting.
Yes. Unlike the flu, the infected begin to show an increase in outwardly aggressive behavior. More than simple agitation. Once docile people...
You mean like rabies? Is there a chance we could create a vaccine, Jonathan, like Pasteur? By the stole, that would be smashing.
There's a lot we're not seeing here. But it is spreading, and quickly. If we don't act, the whole city could be lost.
But Jonathan, we've a fantastic opportunity.
What on earth do you mean?
Why, you, my dear boy. With your expertise and your blood, we could isolate the properties that course through your veins. Think about the possibilities.
And why not? What did Stoker say about the Children of the Night? Well, using my blood, I could create a whole army of vampires.
Surely...
We'll discuss this more later.
No, thank you, Jonathan.
Yes?
I'm afraid it's your...
My sister.
She's to be buried.
I see.
I'm sorry, Jonathan.
I need to talk...
Please do.
So you manage a hospital?
Yes. Pembroke was founded by...
A convenient yet expensive way to have a friend.
All vampires drink blood by nature.
If I may inquire...
Well, Jonathan, she sought me out and offered me the position. It's been a very profitable partnership for both parties.
Do you know anything about the vamp...
Without a doubt, it's the Guard of
They're definitely...
They're extremely dangerous and not to be trifled with.
Where do they come from?
Once they shared the Brotherhood's ideology on non-intervention.
But... Nurse Crane will not...
Oh, really?
She was blackmailing Lady Ashbury. Thought she was murdering patients.
Nurse Crane was playing a dangerous game.
We'll talk later. I never thought I would have to attend my murdered sister's funeral. Mary, I can't forgive myself. I'll find the truth about what happened to us. I swear. It's locked. Goodbye. Goodbye, Mr.
This elixir will give you faith again.
Goodbye. Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if
you've been hurt.
Name's Albert.
What happened?
Hey, I didn't...
All right.
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with it.
I said sod off.
Have you heard it?
Never heard of her.
Goodbye.
Bloody hell, boy.
Good evening, Benjamin.
I'm afraid...
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private. From one soldier to another.
The doctors called me a liar. A coward. Put me in a straitjacket, locked me up. Finally, they sent me back to the front lines with a handful of...
What about those we left behind, face down in the mud? You want to change places with them? You cannot waste your chance at life this way.
It's not that simple.
Have you...
Not recent.
You don't seem well, Benjamin.
Always.
I will see. A gun?
When science fails you, this elixir will give you faith again.
Good evening, Mr.
Surely.
Tell me
I do not believe in the after.
How do you feel, Mr.
I would not.
Yes, you do.
I said I don't want anything.
How do you feel?
I need.
Tell me.
I do. Who will assist Dorothea helping our comrades now that I die?